Sup everybody? We're stuck with a bunch of tires in a car, which means we're getting ready for a track day. But it's not the car you're thinking of. What's up everybody? Welcome back to Make It and Break It. My name's Andrew, and we're at the shop. As you can see, there's awesome cars around, a sweet Toyota. There's an awesome Skyline just right across here. We'll get you some video of that later. We're at the shop to prep for tomorrow's track day. And we came here instead of doing it at our garage, or at my garage, because the Doritos Locos RX8 still doesn't have its engine in. It's closer, it'll be in the next few days, but it's not enough time for me to comfortably say I'm gonna get it in and get it done before tomorrow. So I'm gonna call an audible here, and we're rolling with my Daily Driver Scion TC, which I've never actually, I think, walked around. So we'll do a quick walk around, and then we'll go into getting this thing ready for a track day, which thankfully won't take us too long because this thing's pretty close to ready as it is. This is my 2008 Scion TC. This is the RS 4.0. Those of you who are not familiar with Scions, the RS series, and you can tell it's an RS in this case because of the embroidering on the seats. Wait, can we get that to focus? There you go, you see that seat embroidery? The RS was a release series that Scion used to put out for their models every year, a yearly release series. And it would contain things like special paint codes. This case it has like a custom or essentially a unique lip and side skirt treatment. Front and rear lips and side skirts are unique. The interior is all Alcantara. And that's about it. So this paint coat is slightly lighter than the normal gray that came on the Scions. Not that it really matters. One thing, it doesn't come with any performance modifications. So luckily Scion kind of expected you to modify their cars, which is nice because we definitely did some of that. So we've got it up right here, and we'll open up the engine. There's not too much go fast mods here. There's a short ram intake. It's only a short ram, not a cold air, because I got too lazy and didn't want to pull the fender liner and do all that sort of jazz. So it's a short ram engine intake. We got our TRD strut braces in here. Just a little diverter plate to make sure all the air goes through your radiator. It's a Dr. Isotope piece, pretty cool. Got it off Scion Life back when that thing was still alive. All this front stuff is all normal to the RS4, so none of that stuff's modified essentially. I've done essentially no mods to the appearance of this car. Inside, we come in here, and this is the Alcantara leather seats. It's got a leather steering wheel, and then the only mod really in here for the most part is short shifter. So I put I think it's the TRD short shifter or someone else's short shifter up in here. A lot better steering feel. It didn't really play very well with the shift knob, so I just taped it on there. That's going to be super safe in every situation, of course. And then the real way to tell an RS is if they have that little badge up here. So that badge is gone on to every RS series, and it gives you the number out of however many. I think my car's number 714 out of 2300 or something like that. So up at the front wheel here, we see some of the biggest mods we have done to this. So you can see in there, that's a Wilwood caliper. So I have a Wilwood big brake kit here on the front. It's like a 12.88 inch rotor, 13 inch rotor, something like that. And actually I don't have to, but I do space out these front stock wheels so that I don't rub on the calipers here. And then behind it, I have a custom set of coilovers. It's kind of Progress coilovers, or a custom valve set of Progress coilovers. It was sold by a company called Dezod. Who knows? It was a Dan Gardner. So Dan Gardner back in the day was a racer that raced like a stock-ish, like relatively stock Scion TC, and he worked with these guys, and they custom ordered a few sets of these coilovers, and I got one set of them in here. So they're DG spec Progress coilovers. Pretty good. They're really spec'd more for like aggressive street use, autocross, but they should serve well enough anyway on a track day. Coming to the back here, we left the rear brake calipers the same, and what we did is we upgraded the rotors to a StopTech slotted rotor system, and EBC yellow stuff brakes in here. And we roll to the back, which is full of crap right now. So there's a bunch of oil. I brought all my oil. I don't actually need to use it because this stuff's really new. I've got less than 1,000 miles on this oil change. So we're just gonna make sure we're topped off and good to go. And then there's our performance tires. So these are Enki RPF ones, I think 17x8s or 17x8s and a half. Falken RT615K pluses, I think, sitting on them. And then back is pretty much all stock, except for you can see the exhaust tip pointing out. So this is a 3-inch exhaust, which is way too much for the NA car that we have. But back when I was really spending a lot of time and money on this car, the thought was I was going to build everything, which so I have upgraded brakes, I have upgraded suspension, I've got upgraded exhaust. I was going to build everything for a turbo and then find myself in a place where I didn't have to get emissions tested and throw a turbo on and call it good. That never actually came to fruition. I, in fact, have a limited slip differential just sitting on my shelf at home that I have never put into this car. So maybe I'll do that here for this channel. But so that 3-inch exhaust is a catback, so it runs right up into here and then just runs right out. And that was there's a company that was racing Scion TCs in Time Attack for a while, P-Tuning. I don't know if they still race. I don't know if they're still around. I don't think they're in the Scion game, or at least the TC game anymore. So P-Tuning did a lot of development for like turbo kits and stuff like that, and they had some really cool kits out there. And so what this is actually, I believe, their prototype exhaust system for their what they call their P-Tuning exhaust. Their exhaust now is V-banded. It's really nice. This one's your standard like flange bolt stuff. And that's kind of the walk around. So what we've got back here, we're getting ready for a track day, obviously. So we're gonna get our nice tires on, and we're also going to, coolant's full, that's okay. We're gonna get our nice tires on, and then we've got new brake pads for all corners. So we're gonna put new brake pads on, and if we get ambitious, we may flush the brake system. Our brakes are doing just fine. They've got like RBF 600, DOT4, Motul racing brake fluid in it already, and everything's working properly. I don't really need to mess with them, so I might just bleed them a little bit just to make sure we're good to go. And that's pretty much it. The oil, normally you would want to do an oil change before the track day. However, this oil is very new. We've had it in there for less than 1,000 miles, like 800 miles or something like that. So people have done like drag racing, Rocky Mountain Race Week on less oil usage than is this one. However, it does eat a little bit of oil. It's getting a little older. So we are going to top it off. So then we'll probably call it good for today, get back home, and get ourselves prepped for the actual track day and get everything loaded into the back of the car. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright guys, well, I got something to show you. I pulled a pad off a front left caliper and found something interesting. So this is a new pad that we got from that box of awesome brake pads. You see that's pretty, there's not a whole lot of dust or anything on it, all that sort of stuff. That's cool. Here's our old one. And you can see that it's been used. It's super dusty and everything, you know. You can see the indentations of the pistons in the back of it. But if you look at it from the top, it's actually not that worn. Like these are the wear marks, I do believe, the wear indicators. And I still have a ton of wear on these pads. Yeah, real interesting. I may be able to just keep the pads on that I have. That took longer than expected, but that's kind of because I had a lunch break with the boss babe. I think the car is ready to go, so I gotta go in and pump the brakes, get all the rear pads locked in. When I was in looking at the rear pads, they also looked pretty good. They didn't look nearly as good as the front pads did, so I went and replaced them. I had new sets for front and back, and I am gonna bring my front pads and my spare rear pads to the track with me tomorrow. So worst comes to worst, I have to replace some pads. I'll have some available and I can take a session off and do that or something. We also got our sport wheels back on. These are our Enki RPF1s with Falken 615K pluses or whatever they are. So at this point, we're gonna go back home, get the stuff we don't want out of the car, get it prepped up for tomorrow. Make sure we have everything, all of our camera gear and everything else that needs to go along with it. But first, before you leave the shop, every time you got to walk around and see what else is cool came in. There's a couple cool cars that aren't just like Ferraris and McLarens and exotics and stuff, so let's show you those real quick. Awesome Sunbeam over here. The guy taking really cool pictures. He's much better with the camera than I am. So, and then over here, we have a sweet 60s Skyline rolling up. And I took a look at it earlier. They got it up and they're working on it. Right now, the owner's not in. And that thing's really cool because it has Z running gear. I couldn't recognize the motor. It was Z32 maybe? Z32 running gear. They're working on it right now. It wasn't running earlier, and they got it running, but the fuel pump died. So they've been working on it, trying to get it running. They'll probably get it running tomorrow when they get a new fuel pump, which is really cool because the shop here, not only do what scrubs like me work on the cars, they actually employ mechanics that'll work on your car for you or with you. If I didn't have a YouTube video where my pride was on the line, I might consider that more often. Anyway, let's get back home real quick, get unloaded, and then walk through our last little setup bits before we hit the road tomorrow. It's gonna be an early morning. So we made it home, but it wasn't super uneventful. First, I forgot wheel chocks under my front wheels, so that was embarrassing. Second, do you see something wrong here? Yeah, we got a mismatched wheel nut. I'll tell you why. So I rolled out of the garage and was going to check torques on everything, make sure I was good. And where did it go? Did I take it inside already? I went to check torque with the socket that came with my wheel nuts, and the wheel nut got stuck. Must be inside. The wheel nut got stuck, which I find very annoying. So it's stuck in there, which means I don't have a matching set. So right now I don't have a nut that I can truthfully trust to stay torqued, because I can't put a torque wrench on these nuts, really. So I'm gonna get one of my sockets out here, one of these 12 points, get all of them off, put on my other set of nuts that are not nearly as cool and just barely long enough to work, and we'll continue unloading the car here. Alright, it is way too late to be shooting the last part of this video. I just came out from the car, picking up a bunch of change. You would not believe how much change I had rattling around in that car, which would be really awkward on the track. So, that's kind of where we're going to end this video. Tomorrow will be an early morning again, out, and I'm going to go try and drive the Daily Driver around the track. I think it's probably better set up for a track than old Doritos Locos I'm leaning on here anyway. So we'll see how that goes. Tomorrow could be a slightly wetter day, so I'm not sold on those tires at this point, but I mean, how bad could it be, really? They at least have, you know, grooves for channeling rain away. So anyway, that's it for us today. Thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Andrew. This has been another Make and Break It YouTube video. I don't know if it's going to go in the Fananigans series or if we'll do some short Daily Driver series. I don't know. Probably Fananigans. But wherever it goes, if you like the video, definitely hit like. Comment down below if I did something horrible by not completely flushing my brake system or completely changing my oil or anything else. That stuff all seems to be working fine, and it's all relatively high-spec stuff, so it should be good for now. But if I did something wrong, definitely go ahead and yell at me down in the comments, and I'll listen to you and maybe take that to heart next time I run out to the track. If you like the stuff that's going on in this channel, we got stuff like that with the Daily Driver every once in a while. We got our Doritos Locos RX8 without a motor in it. That's right here. Our Project Hyper 10 array is going to make an appearance here soon. Got some 3D printing stuff. Not exactly like this, but this is a little fill funnel for oil for Harbor Freight air compressor. We do stuff like that on this channel, as well as more car-related prototyping and functional parts too. So if any of that sounds like it's interesting or down your alley, definitely hit subscribe. There should be something down here in the corner if you're not subscribed already. Ding that bell icon so that you get notified when we put out new videos. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Again, my name's Andrew. This is another Make and Break YouTube video. You know, sometimes you don't find things that you expect when you're working on a car. I didn't expect my brakes to be nearly as good as they were, but what you don't want to do is go make it hard. At the end of the day, I've always been more successful just making it up as I go, and that's how we ended up with our channel motto. So until tomorrow morning, which is in 6 hours, we'll catch y'all later.